able to explore it, to understand it, and to find meaning within it. Let us act as stewards of the cosmos, not as conquerors, preserving the beauty and complexity of the worlds we encounter, while also ensuring that the benefits of exploration are shared by all of humanity. For in the end, the universe is not just a place to be explored, it is a source of inspiration, of connection, of wonder. It reminds us that we are part of something much larger than ourselves, that our actions have consequences that extend far beyond our individual lives, our generation, or even our species. And as we reach for the stars, we carry with us the hope that our journey will not only expand our knowledge, but also deepen our understanding of what it means to be human, to be alive, to be part of the cosmos. The stars will always be there, waiting for us. And as long as we continue to explore, to ask questions, and to seek understanding, we will remain connected to the grand cosmic story of which we are a part. Somewhere, something incredible is waiting to be known, and we, with our boundless curiosity, are the ones who will discover it. Our exploration of space is a manifestation of our intrinsic need to push beyond the boundaries of the known. Yet as we venture out into the farthest reaches of the cosmos, we are reminded of a simple truth: the universe is not just something we explore, it is something we are deeply connected to. The atoms that make up our bodies were born in the fiery hearts of ancient stars, and the energy that fuels our thoughts and actions has been circulating through the universe since its inception. In this way, we are not just observers of the cosmos, we are participants in its grand unfolding. This realization, that we are part of the very fabric of the universe, brings with it a sense of profound responsibility. It reminds us that our actions, both on Earth and in space, have far-reaching consequences, and that we must approach our exploration of the cosmos with care, humility, and foresight. As we stand on the brink of becoming an interplanetary species, the choices we make now will define not only the future of humanity but also the legacy we leave for the universe itself. One of the central questions we must confront as we expand into space is the nature of life itself. What is life, and how do we define it? Is life simply a set of biological processes, or is there something deeper that gives it meaning and value? These questions are not just theoretical, they have real implications for how we explore other planets and how we interact with the environments we encounter. If we were to discover life beyond Earth, it would forever change our understanding of biology, of consciousness, and of our place in the universe. Even the simplest microbial life on Mars, Europa, or an exoplanet would be a profound discovery, revealing that life is not unique to Earth and that the universe is capable of producing living systems in a variety of environments. But this discovery would also raise ethical questions. How should we interact with this life? What rights do we have to study it, to alter its environment, or to use the resources of its home planet? Do we have a responsibility to protect and preserve extraterrestrial life, even if it conflicts with our own goals of exploration and colonization? These are questions that we cannot afford to answer lightly. The discovery of life elsewhere in the universe would be one of the most significant events in human history, and it would force us to rethink our role as stewards of life and consciousness. Even if we do not find life, the environments we explore, whether it is the barren surface of Mars, the icy oceans of Europa, or the distant atmospheres of exoplanets, are still part of the universe's grand design, and they deserve our respect and protection. The ethical dilemmas of space exploration are not limited to questions of life. They extend to the very ways in which we interact with the planets and moons we encounter. Mars, for example, is a world with its own history, its own geology, and its own beauty. It is a planet that has existed for billions of years without human intervention, shaped by processes that we are only just beginning to understand. As we prepare to send humans to Mars and potentially colonize the planet, we must ask ourselves, what right do we have to alter Mars's environment to suit our needs? Is it ethical to terraform Mars, to change its climate, its landscape, and its ecosystems in order to make it habitable for humans? Or should we leave Mars as it is, preserving its natural state even if that means limiting our own expansion? These are difficult questions, and they force us to confront the tension between our desire to explore and our responsibility to protect. On Earth, We are still grappling with the consequences of our impact on the environment, deforestation, species extinction, climate change, and we must ensure that we do not carry these same patterns of exploitation and destruction with us as we venture into space. The principles of sustainability and stewardship that guide our actions on Earth must also guide our actions in space. We must learn to live in harmony with the environments we encounter, using resources wisely, minimizing our impact, and protecting the beauty and diversity of the cosmos. But beyond the practical and ethical challenges of space exploration, there is also a deeper, more spiritual dimension to our journey into the stars. The universe, in all its vastness and complexity, invites us to reflect on the nature of existence, on the meaning of life, and on the purpose of consciousness. As we look out at the galaxies, nebulae, and stars that fill the night sky, we are reminded of how small we are in the grand scheme of things, and yet, paradoxically, we are also reminded of how extraordinary it is that we are here at all. The universe has existed for billions of years, and yet for a brief moment in time, we have emerged as conscious beings capable of asking questions, seeking answers, and contemplating the very nature of the cosmos. This ability, to think, to wonder, to explore, is one of the most remarkable aspects of human existence. It is what sets us apart, what drives us forward, and what connects us to the larger story of the universe. This sense of connection, the knowledge that we are part of something much larger than ourselves, brings with it a sense of purpose. It reminds us that our journey into the cosmos is not just about expanding our knowledge or extending our reach, it is about finding meaning in the vastness of space, about understanding our place in the grand unfolding of the universe. The search for extraterrestrial life, for example, is not just about finding other beings who share the universe with us, it is about seeking kinship with the cosmos, about finding a sense of belonging in a universe that can often seem indifferent to our presence. Even if we do not find life elsewhere, the very act of searching, of exploring, is meaningful in itself. It reminds us that we are part of a larger story, one that began with the birth of the universe and continues to unfold with each new discovery we make. And it is this sense of wonder, of curiosity, of connection, that drives us to explore the stars, to push the boundaries of what we know, and to seek new possibilities for the future. As we look to the future of space exploration, we must carry this sense of wonder and responsibility with us. The choices we make today, about how we explore, how we interact with the environments we encounter, and how we treat each other, will shape the future of humanity for generations to come. We have the power to create a future in which humanity thrives, in which life flourishes, and in which the universe continues to be a source of awe and inspiration. But that future depends on our ability to act with wisdom, with compassion, and with a deep respect for the cosmos and its mysteries. The stars will always be there, waiting for us. But as we reach for them, let us do so with open hearts, open minds, and a deep sense of responsibility. For somewhere, something incredible is waiting to be known, and we, with our capacity for wonder, are the ones who will discover it. At the heart of our exploration lies a paradox. We are infinitesimally small in the scale of the cosmos, and yet we are capable of comprehending that very vastness. This ability to reflect on the universe, to question our place within it, and to seek meaning in the stars is a defining feature of human existence. It is both humbling and empowering to recognize that, in a universe billions of years old and teeming with galaxies, we are conscious beings able to explore and understand this cosmic expanse. But this consciousness, this spark of awareness, carries with it a profound responsibility. As we stretch our reach beyond Earth, we are faced with decisions that will have lasting impacts, not only on our own species but on the environments we encounter and the potential life forms we may discover. The ethical questions surrounding space exploration are no longer theoretical, they are real, and they demand careful consideration. One of the most immediate questions we face as we plan for human missions to Mars and other planets is how we will balance our desire to expand with our responsibility to protect. Mars, a planet that has intrigued us for centuries, is a world with its own geological history, its own mysteries, and potentially, its own forms of life. Even if we do not find advanced life on Mars, the discovery of even the simplest microorganisms would be a profound revelation. It would prove that life is not unique to Earth and that the universe is capable of producing living systems in diverse environments. But if we do find life on Mars, or on any other world, how should we interact with it? What rights does this life have, and how should we prioritize its preservation over our own goals of exploration and colonization? These are not easy questions to answer. The discovery of life beyond Earth would challenge our ethical frameworks, forcing us to reconsider what it means to be alive and what responsibilities we have toward other forms of life, no matter how primitive. Even if Mars is barren of life, it is still a world worth protecting. The geological features of Mars, its ancient riverbeds, its towering volcanoes, its vast plains, are part of the planet's natural history, a history that has unfolded over billions of years. As we plan for human settlement on Mars, we must ask ourselves whether we have the right to alter its landscape to suit our needs. Terraforming, for instance, may seem like a practical solution for creating a more Earth-like environment on Mars, but it raises profound ethical questions. Do we have the right to reshape an entire planet? Should we prioritize human expansion over the preservation of Mars's natural state? These questions highlight the broader ethical challenges of space exploration. They force us to confront the tension between our desire to explore and our responsibility to protect. On Earth, we have often failed to live in harmony with the natural world, leading to environmental degradation, species extinction, and the destruction of ecosystems. As we venture into space, we must ensure that we do not carry these same patterns of exploitation and destruction with us. The concept of stewardship, of caring for and protecting the environments we encounter, must guide our actions as we expand into space. We must learn to live in harmony with the worlds we explore, using resources responsibly, minimizing our impact, and preserving the beauty and complexity of the cosmos. This is not just a matter of ethics, it is a matter of survival. The technologies we develop to live sustainably in space, such as closed-loop life support systems, renewable energy, and efficient resource management, are critical for ensuring that humanity can thrive on other planets. But these same technologies are also essential for addressing the environmental challenges we face on Earth. Indeed, space exploration offers us a unique opportunity to reflect on our relationship with our home planet. As we look to the stars, we are reminded that Earth is the only world we know of that supports life, and that life is fragile. The challenges we face, climate change, habitat destruction, pollution, are a reminder of the delicate balance that sustains life on Earth. The principles of sustainability and stewardship that we apply to space exploration must also guide our actions on Earth. We cannot afford to neglect our responsibility to protect the ecosystems that support life on this planet, even as we search for life elsewhere. But beyond the practical and ethical challenges of space exploration, there is also a deeper, more existential dimension to our journey into the cosmos. The universe, in all its vastness, invites us to reflect on the nature of existence, on the meaning of life, and on the purpose of consciousness. As we explore the stars, we are not just seeking new worlds or new knowledge, we are also seeking answers to the most fundamental questions of existence. The search for extraterrestrial life, for example, is not just a scientific endeavor, it is a philosophical one. If we are not alone in the universe, if life has arisen elsewhere, it would have profound implications for our understanding of biology, of consciousness, and of our place in the cosmos. It would remind us that life is not unique to Earth and that we are part of a larger, cosmic community of living beings. But even if we do not find life beyond Earth, the search itself is meaningful. It reminds us of the interconnectedness of all things, of the fact that we are part of a universe that is far larger and more complex than we can fully comprehend. This cosmic perspective, a perspective that sees humanity as part of the grand unfolding of the universe, can inspire a sense of wonder, humility, and responsibility. It can remind us that our actions, both on Earth and in space, have consequences that extend far beyond ourselves. This sense of interconnectedness, of being part of something larger, is one of the most profound gifts of space exploration. It reminds us that we are not separate from the universe but deeply embedded within it. The same forces that shape the stars and galaxies also shape our lives, and the same laws of physics that govern the motion of planets and black holes govern the chemistry of our bodies and the thoughts in our minds. This recognition, that we are part of the universe, and the universe is part of us, invites us to reflect on the nature of consciousness itself. What is consciousness? Is it unique to humans, or is it a fundamental feature of the universe, present in some form in all living beings? Could it be that consciousness is not confined to Earth, but is a cosmic phenomenon, arising wherever the conditions for life exist? These are questions that push the boundaries of science, philosophy, and spirituality, and they challenge us to think deeply about the nature of life and the universe. As we look to the future of space exploration, we must carry these questions with us. The choices we make today, about how we explore, how we interact with the environments we encounter, and how we treat each other, will shape the future of humanity for generations to come. We have the power to create a future in which humanity thrives, in which life flourishes, and in which the universe continues to be a source of awe and inspiration. But that future depends on our ability to act with wisdom, compassion, and a deep respect for the cosmos and its mysteries. The stars will always be there, waiting for us. But as we reach for them, let us do so with open hearts, open minds, and a sense of wonder for the beauty and complexity of the universe we inhabit. For somewhere, something incredible is waiting to be known, and we, with our boundless curiosity, are the ones who will discover it. As we stand at the threshold of becoming a spacefaring civilization, these questions take on new urgency. The more we learn about the universe, the more we are reminded of our own fragility, and of the fleeting nature of life in the cosmic scale. But in this fragility, there is also beauty, a reminder that our existence, while brief, is deeply meaningful. It is through our consciousness, through our ability to reflect, to explore, and to wonder, that the universe itself becomes aware of its own existence. This awareness is a gift, but it is also a responsibility. As we expand into the cosmos, we are not just carrying with us our technology and our knowledge, we are carrying our values, our ethics, and our vision of what it means to be human. The choices we make in this new era of exploration will define not only our future but the future of life itself, both on Earth and beyond. One of the most profound questions we face is how we will interact with other forms of life, should we encounter them. The discovery of extraterrestrial life, whether microbial or intelligent, would be one of the greatest scientific and philosophical revelations in human history. It would challenge our understanding of biology, of consciousness, and of our place in the universe. But it would also raise complex ethical questions. How should we treat other forms of life? Do they have rights, as we do? What responsibilities do we have to protect and preserve their environments, even if it means limiting our own expansion? These questions are not just hypothetical. As we prepare to explore worlds like Mars, Europa, and Enceladus, worlds that may harbor life, we must confront the possibility that we are not alone in the universe. Even if the life we find is simple and primitive, it would still be a profound discovery, one that forces us to consider the implications of sharing the universe with other forms of life. In many ways, the search for extraterrestrial life is also a search for connection. It is an expression of our desire to find kinship with the cosmos, to discover that life is not unique to Earth but is a fundamental feature of the universe. If we find life elsewhere, it would remind us that we are part of a larger cosmic community, and that the story of life is not confined to our planet but is written across the stars. But even if we do not find life beyond Earth, the act of searching itself is deeply meaningful. It reminds us of the interconnectedness of all things, that we are part of a universe that is far larger, far older, and far more complex than we can fully comprehend. This cosmic perspective has the power to change how we see ourselves and our place in the universe. It can inspire a sense of wonder, of humility, and of responsibility. It can remind us that our actions, both on Earth and in space, have consequences that extend far beyond ourselves. This interconnectedness also speaks to the deeper, more philosophical questions that arise from our exploration of space. What is life? What is consciousness? Are we alone in the universe, or is life a common feature of the cosmos, waiting to be discovered on other worlds? These are questions that challenge not only our scientific understanding but also our spiritual and ethical frameworks. The possibility that life exists elsewhere in the universe forces us to reconsider the nature of consciousness itself. Is consciousness unique to humans, or is it a universal phenomenon that arises wherever the conditions for life exist? Could it be that consciousness, like life, is woven into the very fabric of the universe, and that it manifests in different ways on different planets and in different forms of life? These are questions that push the boundaries of our understanding and that invite us to think deeply about the nature of existence. As we continue to explore the cosmos, we must also reflect on what it means to be human. What values will we carry with us as we expand into space? How will we balance our desire for exploration and discovery with our responsibility to protect the environments we encounter? These are not just scientific or technical questions, they are moral questions that demand careful consideration. The history of exploration on Earth offers important lessons. Too often, the expansion of human civilization has been accompanied by the exploitation of natural resources, the displacement of indigenous peoples, and the destruction of ecosystems. As we venture into space, we have the opportunity to write a new chapter in the story of exploration, one that is guided by principles of stewardship, sustainability, and respect for life. The ethical challenges of space exploration extend beyond the discovery of extraterrestrial life. They also involve how we interact with the planets and moons we explore. Mars, for example, is a planet with a rich geological history, shaped by processes that we are only just beginning to understand. As we plan for human missions to Mars, we must ask ourselves whether we have the right to alter its environment to suit our needs. Is it ethical to terraform Mars, to change its climate and landscape in order to make it more habitable for humans? Or should we preserve its natural state, even if that limits our ability to colonize the planet? These are difficult questions, and they force us to confront the tension between our desire to explore and our responsibility to protect. On Earth, we have often failed to live in harmony with the natural world, leading to environmental degradation and the loss of biodiversity. As we expand into space, we must ensure that we do not carry these same patterns of exploitation with us. The principles of sustainability and stewardship that we apply on Earth must also guide our actions in space. But beyond the practical and ethical challenges of space exploration, there is also a deeper, more spiritual dimension to our journey into the stars. The universe, in all its vastness and complexity, invites us to reflect on the nature of existence, on the meaning of life, and on the purpose of consciousness. As we explore the stars, we are not just seeking new worlds or new knowledge, we are also seeking answers to the most fundamental questions of existence. The search for meaning is a deeply human endeavor, and space exploration offers us a unique opportunity to reflect on the nature of life, the universe, and everything. It invites us to think beyond the confines of our daily lives, to see ourselves as part of a larger cosmic story that has been unfolding for billions of years. This cosmic perspective, the realization that we are part of something much larger than ourselves, can inspire a sense of awe, wonder, and responsibility. It can remind us that our actions, both on Earth and in space, have consequences that extend far beyond our individual lives. And it can inspire us to act with wisdom, compassion, and humility as we continue our journey into the cosmos. As we look to the future of space exploration, we must carry this sense of wonder and responsibility with us. The stars will always be there, waiting for us. But as we reach for them, let us do so with open hearts, open minds, and a deep respect for the universe and its mysteries. For somewhere, something incredible is waiting to be known, and we, with our boundless curiosity and capacity for wonder, are the ones who will discover it. The universe, vast and ancient, has existed for billions of years without our presence, and it will continue to evolve long after we are gone. Yet, in this brief moment of cosmic time, we are here, conscious, curious, and capable of exploring the stars. This capacity for exploration is one of humanity's most extraordinary qualities, but it is also one that comes with immense responsibility. As we stand at the dawn of interplanetary exploration, the decisions we make today will shape not only the future of human civilization but also the fate of other worlds. One of the central ethical challenges we face as we prepare to send humans to Mars and beyond is how we will balance our desire for exploration with our obligation to protect and preserve. Mars, with its ancient landscapes and potential for harboring life, is not just another frontier to be conquered, it is a world with its own intrinsic value. Even if we do not find life on Mars, the planet's unique geological history, its dried riverbeds, its towering volcanoes, and its frozen polar caps, deserves our respect and careful stewardship. The idea of terraforming Mars, of transforming its environment to make it more hospitable for human life, has captured the imagination of many. But this vision of a second Earth raises profound ethical questions. Do we have the right to alter an entire planet for our own purposes? What are the long-term consequences of such actions, not just for Mars itself, but for the broader cosmos? As we consider these questions, we must remember that our actions in space will be part of a much larger story, a story that extends beyond human needs and desires. This is where the concept of stewardship becomes essential. Just as we are learning to live more sustainably on Earth, we must apply those same principles to our exploration of other planets. We must recognize that Mars, and indeed any celestial body, is not ours to exploit. It is part of the universe's grand tapestry, shaped by processes that have unfolded over billions of years. Our role as explorers should not be one of domination, but of partnership, working with the environment, learning from it, and ensuring that our presence does not cause irreversible harm. The same ethical principles apply to our exploration of other moons and planets, particularly those that may harbor life. Europa, one of Jupiter's moons, is a prime candidate for the discovery of extraterrestrial life, with its subsurface ocean potentially providing the conditions necessary for microbial organisms to exist. But what if we do find life on Europa? How should we interact with it? Do we have the right to study it, to alter its environment, or even to use its resources? Or should we take a more protective approach, ensuring that we do not disrupt the delicate ecosystems that may exist beneath Europa's icy surface? These questions remind us that the search for extraterrestrial life is not just a scientific endeavor, it is a moral one. It forces us to consider our place in the universe and our relationship to other forms of life, whether they are microbial organisms on distant moons or intelligent civilizations on faraway planets. The discovery of life beyond Earth would be one of the most profound moments in human history, challenging our understanding of biology, consciousness, and our place in the cosmic order. But even if we do not find life, the act of searching itself is valuable. It reminds us of the interconnectedness of all things, of the fact that we are part of a universe that is far larger and more complex than we can fully comprehend. The search for life encourages us to think about the nature of life itself, what it means to be alive, what it means to be conscious, and what it means to share the universe with other forms of existence. This sense of interconnectedness is one of the greatest gifts of space exploration. It helps us see beyond the boundaries of our own lives, our own planet, and our own species. It reminds us that we are part of something much larger, much older, and much more mysterious than we may ever fully understand. This cosmic perspective has the power to transform how we see ourselves and our place in the universe. It can inspire a sense of awe and wonder, but also a deep sense of responsibility. As we continue our exploration of space, we must carry this sense of responsibility with us. The decisions we make today will have lasting consequences, not only for ourselves but for the future of life in the cosmos. We must act with care, with wisdom, and with a profound respect for the environments we encounter and the life forms we may discover. But beyond the ethical and practical challenges of space exploration, there is also a deeper, more philosophical dimension to our journey. The universe, in all its vastness, invites us to reflect on the nature of existence, on the meaning of life, and on the purpose of consciousness. As we explore the stars, we are not just seeking new worlds or new knowledge, we are also seeking answers to the most fundamental questions of existence. Why are we here? What is our purpose in the universe? Are we alone, Or are there other beings out there, also contemplating these same questions? These are questions that have no easy answers, and perhaps they never will. But the act of asking them, of seeking to understand the universe and our place within it, is itself a meaningful pursuit. It is what drives us to explore, to push the boundaries of knowledge, and to reach for the stars. In this sense, space exploration is not just a scientific endeavor, it is a deeply spiritual one. It challenges us to think beyond the confines of our daily lives, to see ourselves as part of a larger cosmic story, and to recognize that our actions, both on Earth and in space, have consequences that extend far beyond ourselves. This cosmic perspective can inspire us to act with greater compassion, both toward each other and toward the planet we call home. It can remind us that the Earth, with all its beauty and complexity, is a rare and precious world, and that we have a responsibility to protect it. The same principles of stewardship that we apply to our exploration of other planets must also guide our actions on Earth. We cannot afford to neglect our responsibility to protect the ecosystems that sustain life here, even as we search for life elsewhere. As we look to the future of space exploration, we must carry this sense of wonder, responsibility, and humility with us. The stars will always be there, waiting for us. But as we reach for them, let us do so with open hearts, open minds, and a deep respect for the universe and its mysteries. For somewhere, something incredible is waiting to be known, and we, with our capacity for wonder and exploration, are the ones who will discover it. The future of space exploration will not just be defined by the destinations we reach, but by the way we conduct ourselves as explorers. The ethical considerations that come with the colonization of other worlds, the search for extraterrestrial life, and the utilization of space resources will define how future generations perceive this era. This future calls for a mindset that prioritizes responsibility, stewardship, and a deep respect for the environments and potential life forms we may encounter. One of the most exciting and complex possibilities we face is the colonization of other planets, particularly Mars. The dream of making Mars a second home for humanity has captured the imagination of scientists, visionaries, and the public alike. The idea of humans living and thriving on another world speaks to our deepest instincts, to explore, to expand, and to survive. But with this dream comes significant ethical challenges. Terraforming Mars, or altering its environment to make it more suitable for human life, is often seen as a way to ensure the long-term survival of humanity. However, the ethical implications of terraforming are profound. What rights do we have to fundamentally alter another planet's environment? Mars has its own history, one that has unfolded over billions of years. Even though Mars appears lifeless today, it is still a world with its own natural processes and geological identity. Changing those processes to suit our needs would be a monumental act, one that could have irreversible consequences. Additionally, there is the possibility that Mars may still harbor life, even if only in the form of microorganisms. If we were to discover life on Mars, how should we interact with it? Do we have a moral obligation to protect it, to preserve its environment, even if that conflicts with our own goals of colonization? These are questions we must answer before we begin to reshape another world in our image. We must be careful not to repeat the mistakes of Earth's history, where expansion and colonization often came at the expense of indigenous peoples and ecosystems. The same ethical considerations apply to the exploration of other moons and planets, particularly those that may harbor life. Europa, one of Jupiter's moons, with its vast subsurface ocean, is one of the most promising candidates for extraterrestrial life in our solar system. If life exists beneath its icy crust, we must carefully consider how we interact with that environment. Do we have the right to drill into its oceans, to study its organisms, or to use its resources? Or should we take a more protective stance, ensuring that we do not disturb the ecosystems that may exist there? These questions challenge us to think deeply about the rights of other forms of life, even if they are as simple as microbes. Beyond the search for life, there is also the question of how we will use the resources of space. The idea of mining asteroids for minerals and metals has the potential to revolutionize our economy and provide the materials needed for large-scale space exploration and colonization. However, the ethical implications of resource extraction in space are significant. Should we view space as an untapped resource, free for exploitation, or should we approach it with caution and restraint? The extraction of resources from asteroids and other celestial bodies could have unintended consequences, not only for the environments of those bodies but also for the balance of resources on Earth. Space mining also raises broader questions about economic equity. Who will benefit from the wealth generated by space resources? Will it be concentrated in the hands of a few corporations and nations, or will it be shared for the benefit of all humanity? The future of space exploration offers the possibility of unprecedented wealth, but it also carries the risk of deepening inequality. As we expand into space, we must ensure that the benefits of this new frontier are distributed fairly and that the pursuit of profit does not come at the expense of the environment or the rights of future generations. At its core, the exploration of space is an invitation to reflect on the kind of civilization we want to become. Will we be a species that expands recklessly, exploiting the universe for short-term gain? Or will we be a species that recognizes its place within the larger web of life, acting as stewards of the cosmos, preserving its beauty and complexity for future generations? The choices we make today will define the trajectory of human civilization for centuries to come. But beyond the practical and ethical challenges of space exploration, there is also a deeper, more philosophical dimension to our journey. As we explore the stars, we are not just seeking new worlds or new resources, we are seeking answers to the most fundamental questions of existence. Why are we here? What is our purpose in the universe? Are we alone, or are there other beings out there, also contemplating these same questions? The possibility of discovering intelligent extraterrestrial civilizations is one of the most profound aspects of space exploration. If we were to find such civilizations, it would transform our understanding of consciousness, intelligence, and the nature of life. But how would we interact with these beings? What ethical framework would guide our contact with them? Would we approach them as equals, seeking to learn from them, or would we repeat the mistakes of our past, viewing them as resources to be exploited or threats to be neutralized? These questions challenge us to think beyond our immediate goals and to consider the long-term consequences of our actions. The discovery of intelligent life would be one of the greatest moments in human history, but it would also raise profound ethical and philosophical questions about our place in the universe and our responsibility to other forms of life. Even if we never find extraterrestrial civilizations, the act of searching for them is meaningful. It reminds us that we are part of a larger cosmic community, even if we are the only conscious beings we know of. This sense of cosmic perspective can inspire us to act with greater compassion, both toward each other and toward the planet we call home. The Earth, with all its beauty and complexity, is a rare and precious world. The same principles of stewardship that we apply to our exploration of other planets must also guide our actions on Earth. We cannot afford to neglect our responsibility to protect the ecosystems that sustain life here, even as we search for life elsewhere. The lessons we learn from living sustainably on Earth will be critical as we expand into space, and the technologies we develop for life in space can help us solve the environmental challenges we face on our home planet. As we look to the future, we must carry with us the sense of wonder and responsibility that has always driven human exploration. The stars will always be there, waiting for us. But as we reach for them, let us do so with open hearts, open minds, and a deep respect for the universe and its mysteries. For somewhere, something incredible is waiting to be known, and we, with our boundless curiosity and capacity for wonder, are the ones who will discover it. The dream of becoming a multiplanetary species is no longer the stuff of science fiction. With each passing year, we make tangible progress toward establishing a human presence on other worlds, particularly Mars. The idea that future generations could live, work, and thrive on a world beyond Earth is both exhilarating and daunting. But as we move closer to this reality, we must also confront the ethical implications of such a monumental step. Mars, like Earth, is a planet with a history billions of years in the making. Its ancient landscapes, shaped by volcanic activity, water flow, and atmospheric change, tell a story that stretches back to the earliest days of the solar system. It is a world that has existed without us, and as we plan to colonize it, we must ask ourselves, what will our role be in Mars's future? Will we be careful stewards, preserving its natural beauty and respecting its geological history, or will we treat it as merely another resource to exploit? The question of terraforming Mars, a process that would involve altering its atmosphere, climate, and surface to make it more Earth-like, captures both the promise and the peril of space exploration. On the one hand, terraforming could provide a long-term solution to the challenges of human survival in space, offering a new home for humanity and alleviating the pressures of overpopulation and environmental degradation on Earth. But on the other hand, the act of reshaping an entire planet to suit our needs raises profound ethical concerns. Do we have the right to transform Mars, potentially destroying its natural processes and geological heritage, simply because we can? And what if, in the process of terraforming, we discover evidence of past or present life on Mars? How would this change our approach? Would we continue to prioritize human expansion, or would the discovery of life on Mars demand that we protect the planet's environment and preserve its ecosystems? The ethical dilemmas of terraforming are not just limited to Mars. As we look further into the solar system and beyond, we must consider how we will interact with other planets and moons. Europa, with its subsurface ocean, holds the tantalizing possibility of harboring life. If we were to find evidence of living organisms on Europa, how would we proceed? The discovery of extraterrestrial life, even in its simplest forms, would force us to confront the moral implications of our actions. Would we be willing to risk the disruption or destruction of an alien ecosystem in order to study it? Or would we take a more cautious approach, recognizing that the preservation of life, no matter how small or different from our own, must take precedence over human exploration? These questions force us to reflect on the nature of life itself. What does it mean to be alive, and what responsibilities do we have toward other forms of life, both on Earth and beyond? Our understanding of life has been shaped by our experience on Earth, but the universe may offer forms of life that challenge our definitions and assumptions. How will we recognize and respect life that may be vastly different from anything we have encountered before? But even if we do not find life elsewhere, the environments we explore, whether it's the dry, rocky surface of Mars, the icy moons of Jupiter and Saturn, or the distant planets orbiting other stars, are still part of the cosmic web of existence. They are worlds with their own histories, their own processes, and their own intrinsic value. Just as we have a responsibility to protect the environments and ecosystems of Earth, we must also take care to preserve the natural beauty and integrity of the planets and moons we explore. Our actions in space must be guided by principles of sustainability, stewardship, and respect for the environments we encounter. Beyond the immediate ethical challenges of space exploration, there is a broader, more existential question that underpins our journey into the cosmos: what are we searching for? Is it merely survival, a way to ensure that humanity continues in the face of potential global catastrophes? Or is it something more, a deeper understanding of the universe and our place within it? The search for extraterrestrial life, particularly intelligent life, is one of the most profound endeavors of our time. The possibility that we are not alone in the universe, that other civilizations exist somewhere in the vast expanse of space, has captivated the human imagination for centuries. If we were to find evidence of such civilizations, it would be a moment of profound significance, one that would force us to rethink everything we know about life, consciousness, and our role in the cosmos. But what if we are alone? What if, in all the vastness of space, we are the only intelligent beings? This possibility is equally profound, for it would place an even greater responsibility on our shoulders. If we are the universe's only conscious observers, then it falls to us to ensure that consciousness continues to exist, that life continues to thrive, and that the universe remains a place of wonder, discovery, and meaning. The possibility of human exceptionalism in the cosmos would not make us more important or central, but it would magnify the stakes of our survival. In such a scenario, our role as stewards of life and consciousness becomes even more critical. The choices we make, both on Earth and in space, will determine not only the future of humanity but the future of life itself. This realization, that we may be alone in the universe or that we may be part of a vast, interconnected web of life, forces us to think deeply about the values we carry with us as we explore the cosmos. What kind of civilization do we want to become? Will we be a species that seeks domination and control, or one that values curiosity, compassion, and stewardship? These questions are not just philosophical musings, they are practical and urgent, for the decisions we make now will shape the future of human civilization and the broader cosmic story. But as we continue to explore the stars, we must also remember the lessons we have learned on Earth. Our planet is a rare and precious world, a place where life has flourished in all its diversity and complexity. As we search for life elsewhere, we must not neglect our responsibility to protect the ecosystems that sustain life here. The same principles of sustainability and stewardship that guide our actions in space must also guide our actions on Earth. The technologies we develop for space exploration, renewable energy, closed-loop life support systems, efficient resource management, can help us address the environmental challenges we face on our home planet. In this way, space exploration is not just about expanding our presence in the universe, it is about finding new ways to live sustainably and harmoniously on Earth. As we look to the future, let us carry with us the sense of wonder, responsibility, and humility that has always driven human exploration. The stars will always be there, waiting for us. But as we reach for them, let us do so with open hearts, open minds, and a deep respect for the universe and its mysteries. For somewhere, something incredible is waiting to be known, and we, with our capacity for wonder and exploration, are the ones who will discover it. The idea of becoming a multiplanetary species is one of the most ambitious goals humanity has ever set. Mars, our closest planetary neighbor, offers the most realistic chance of achieving this vision in the near future. The prospect of human colonies on Mars has been met with excitement, as it promises a new era of human civilization, one that is no longer confined to a single planet, but one that can thrive across the solar system. However, as we plan for this monumental step, we must also confront the consequences of transforming Mars into a human habitat. The potential colonization of Mars raises critical questions about the kind of civilization we want to create beyond Earth. What values will guide our actions as we establish a new human presence on another world? Will we prioritize human expansion at any cost, or will we seek to live in harmony with the Martian environment, respecting its history, its landscapes, and its possible biological uniqueness? These are not simply questions of practicality, but of ethics and morality. Mars, like Earth, is a world that has evolved over billions of years. Its surface bears the scars of volcanic eruptions, flowing rivers, and atmospheric changes, all of which tell the story of a planet that once had the conditions for water, and perhaps life. The possibility of discovering life on Mars, whether in the form of ancient microbial fossils or living organisms beneath the surface, complicates the question of colonization. If life exists or once existed on Mars, then we are not merely dealing with an empty, lifeless world, we are dealing with an ecosystem, no matter how primitive, that has intrinsic value. In such a case, our ethical obligations shift from merely preserving the environment to protecting the life that may exist there. The discovery of even the simplest form of life on Mars would force us to rethink our approach to colonization, demanding that we prioritize the preservation of Martian ecosystems over human expansion. Even in the absence of life, the transformation of Mars through terraforming, the process of altering its atmosphere, temperature, and surface to make it more Earth-like, raises ethical concerns. Do we have the right to reshape an entire planet for our own purposes? Mars is a world with its own geological identity, and altering that identity to suit our needs would have irreversible consequences. While the idea of terraforming may seem like a solution to the challenges of living on Mars, it also represents a profound act of interference in the natural processes of another world. As we move forward with plans for Mars colonization, we must carefully weigh the benefits of terraforming against the potential harm it could cause to the planet's natural state. But the ethical dilemmas of space exploration extend far beyond Mars. As we set our sights on the outer solar system, we must also consider how we will interact with the moons of Jupiter and Saturn, worlds like Europa, Enceladus, and Titan that hold the potential for harboring life. Europa, with its subsurface ocean beneath a thick layer of ice, is one of the most promising candidates for finding extraterrestrial life. If we were to discover life on Europa, it would be one of the most profound scientific discoveries in history, but it would also raise significant ethical questions. How should we interact with the life forms we discover? Do we have the right to study them, to alter their environment, or to extract resources from their home world? Or should we take a more protective approach, ensuring that we do not disturb their ecosystems in the name of human progress? These questions highlight a broader truth about space exploration. It is not just a technical challenge, but a moral one. As we venture into space, we are not merely expanding our presence in the universe, we are expanding the scope of our ethical responsibilities. The decisions we make today, about how we interact with other worlds, how we treat the life we may discover, and how we use the resources of space, will shape the future of human civilization and the broader cosmic environment. Space mining is another area where these ethical considerations come into play. The idea of extracting resources from asteroids, moons, and other celestial bodies has the potential to revolutionize industries on Earth and provide the raw materials needed for large-scale space exploration and colonization. However, space mining also raises important questions about sustainability, equity, and environmental impact. Should space be treated as a resource to be exploited for profit, or should it be approached with caution, recognizing that the extraction of resources from celestial bodies could have unintended consequences? Moreover, who will benefit from the wealth generated by space mining? Will it be concentrated in the hands of a few corporations or nations, or will it be distributed in a way that benefits all of humanity? As we move forward with space exploration, we must ensure that the principles of sustainability and stewardship guide our actions. We have already seen the consequences of unchecked resource extraction on Earth: deforestation, habitat destruction, climate change, and we must ensure that we do not carry these same patterns of exploitation with us as we venture into space. The resources of the cosmos are vast, but they are not infinite, and our use of them must be carefully considered and responsibly managed. Beyond the practical and ethical challenges, there is also a profound philosophical dimension to our journey into space. The search for extraterrestrial life, particularly intelligent life, forces us to confront fundamental questions about consciousness, intelligence, and the nature of life itself. If we were to find evidence of intelligent extraterrestrial civilizations, it would forever change our understanding of what it means to be alive and conscious in the universe. But even if we do not find such civilizations, the act of searching for them reminds us of the uniqueness and preciousness of life on Earth. What if we are alone in the universe? What if, in all the vastness of space, we are the only intelligent beings capable of contemplating the cosmos? This possibility places a great responsibility on our shoulders. If we are indeed the only conscious observers in the universe, then it falls to us to ensure that life and consciousness continue to thrive. We are, in a sense, the universe's way of knowing itself, and it is our responsibility to carry forward the flame of life, ensuring that it continues to burn brightly, both on Earth and in the stars. This cosmic perspective, the realization that we are part of something much larger than ourselves, can inspire us to act with greater compassion, both toward each other and toward the planet we call home. The Earth, with all its beauty and complexity, is a rare and precious world, and we have a responsibility to protect it. As we search for life elsewhere, we must not neglect our responsibility to the life that exists here. The principles of sustainability, stewardship, and respect that guide our actions in space must also guide our actions on Earth. As we look to the future, we must carry with us the sense of wonder, responsibility, and humility that has always driven human exploration. The stars will always be there, waiting for us. But as we reach for them, let us do so with open hearts, open minds, and a deep respect for the universe and its mysteries. For somewhere, something incredible is waiting to be known, and we, with our boundless curiosity and capacity for wonder, are the ones who will discover it. Mars, with its red, windswept plains and towering volcanic peaks, continues to stand as our most attainable stepping stone to becoming a multiplanetary species. But as we envision our future on Mars, we are faced with profound questions about the kind of civilization we wish to create beyond Earth. What will the values of a Martian society be? Will it be driven by the same dynamics that have shaped human history on Earth, competition for resources, exploitation of the environment, and unbridled expansion? Or will it be guided by new principles, grounded in sustainability, cooperation, and respect for the planet's unique character? One of the central challenges of Mars colonization is how we approach the planet itself. Mars is not a blank canvas waiting for human settlement, it is a world with its own history, its own landscapes, and perhaps its own secrets. The ethical dilemma of terraforming, transforming Mars to make it more hospitable for human life, is emblematic of the tension between our desire to survive and thrive and our responsibility to respect the natural environment of the planets we explore. Terraforming would be an unprecedented act of planetary engineering, one that would forever alter Mars's atmosphere, temperature, and surface. It would turn Mars into a second Earth, a place where humans could live without the need for protective habitats or spacesuits. But at what cost? The question of whether we should terraform Mars forces us to consider our relationship with nature, both on Earth and in the wider cosmos. On Earth, we are learning, sometimes painfully, that our actions have far-reaching consequences for the environment. Deforestation, climate change, and biodiversity loss are all reminders of what happens when we prioritize short-term human needs over the long-term health of ecosystems. As we plan for Mars, we must take these lessons with us. We must ask ourselves whether we have the right to impose our will on another planet, simply because we have the technology to do so. Mars is not Earth, and transforming it to resemble our home planet could mean losing something irreplaceable, the opportunity to study an alien world in its natural state, free from human influence. The possibility of life on Mars, whether in the form of ancient fossils or living organisms beneath the surface, only complicates this ethical question further. If life exists on Mars, even in the simplest microbial form, then our obligations to protect and preserve its environment become even more pressing. The discovery of life on Mars would not only transform our understanding of biology, but it would also force us to rethink our role in the universe. No longer would we be the only known carriers of life in the cosmos, we would be part of a larger web of existence, one that spans planets and possibly star systems. In such a scenario, preserving Mars's environment would not just be an ethical choice, it would be a moral imperative. But even if Mars is barren of life, the ethical questions surrounding its colonization remain. The planet's landscapes, shaped over billions of years, tell a story that is uniquely Martian. From the massive canyons of Valles Marineris to the towering Olympus Mons, Mars is a geological wonder that deserves our respect and careful study. As we explore its surface, we must be mindful of the impact we have. Will we leave Mars's natural beauty intact for future generations to explore and appreciate, or will we alter it beyond recognition in the pursuit of human settlement? The ethical challenges of space exploration are not limited to Mars. As we look toward the outer solar system, we encounter moons like Europa, Enceladus, and Titan, worlds that hold the potential for harboring life. Europa, with its vast subsurface ocean, is one of the most promising candidates for extraterrestrial life. If we were to find evidence of living organisms beneath Europa's icy crust, it would be one of the most significant discoveries in human history. But it would also raise profound ethical questions. How should we interact with life forms that may be vastly different from those we know on Earth? Do we have the right to study them, to alter their environment, or to extract resources from their home? Or should we take a more protective approach, ensuring that we do not disturb their ecosystems, even if it limits our ability to explore and utilize their resources? These questions force us to confront the nature of life itself. What rights do other forms of life, whether microbial or intelligent, have? And what responsibilities do we, as explorers, have to protect and preserve those life forms? As we search for life beyond Earth, we must be prepared to approach it with humility, recognizing that we may not fully understand its significance or its place in the broader cosmic order. The ethical considerations of space exploration extend to the issue of space resources as well. The idea of mining asteroids, moons, and planets for valuable minerals and metals has the potential to revolutionize industries on Earth and provide the materials needed for large-scale space colonization. However, the extraction of resources from space also raises important questions about sustainability, equity, and environmental impact. Should space be treated as a resource to be exploited for profit, or should it be approached with caution and restraint? Moreover, who will have access to these resources, and who will benefit from their extraction? Will space mining lead to greater inequality, with wealth concentrated in the hands of a few corporations or nations, or will it be used to benefit all of humanity? These questions highlight the broader challenge of how we will govern space exploration. The Outer Space Treaty, signed in 1967, established the principle that space is the province of all mankind, and that no nation can claim sovereignty over celestial bodies. But as private companies and new nations enter the space race, we must ensure that the benefits of space exploration are shared equitably and that the environment of space is preserved for future generations. The governance of space is still in its infancy, and as we expand our presence in the cosmos, we must develop new frameworks that promote sustainability, cooperation, and the responsible use of resources. But beyond the ethical and practical challenges of space exploration, there is a deeper, more philosophical question that underpins our journey into the cosmos: what are we searching for? Is it merely survival, a way to ensure that humanity continues in the face of potential global catastrophes? Or is it something more, a deeper understanding of the universe and our place within it? The search for extraterrestrial life, particularly intelligent life, is one of the most profound endeavors of our time. The possibility that we are not alone in the universe, that other civilizations exist somewhere in the vast expanse of space, has captivated the human imagination for centuries. If we were to find evidence of such civilizations, it would force us to rethink our understanding of life, consciousness, and intelligence. It would remind us that the story of the universe is far grander and more complex than we could have ever imagined. But what if we are alone? What if, in all the vastness of space, we are the only conscious beings? This possibility, too, is deeply significant. If we are the universe's only observers, then we carry a unique responsibility. We are the stewards of life, the keepers of consciousness. Our actions, both on Earth and in space, will determine whether life continues to flourish or fades into the cosmic void. The choices we make, about how we treat our planet, how we explore the stars, and how we interact with other forms of life, will shape the future of the universe itself. As we continue to explore the stars, we must carry this sense of responsibility with us. The stars will always be there, waiting for us. But as we reach for them, let us do so with open hearts, open minds, and a deep respect for the universe and its mysteries. For somewhere, something incredible is waiting to be known, and we, with our boundless curiosity and capacity for wonder, are the ones who will discover it. Mars, with its ancient river valleys, massive volcanoes, and frozen deserts, represents both a beacon of hope and a challenge for humanity's future. The red planet is within our reach, yet as we move closer to establishing a human presence on Mars, we are confronted by a question that has accompanied all of human exploration: how will we balance our desire to explore with our responsibility to protect? Mars is a world that has existed for billions of years, untouched by human hands. Its landscapes, shaped by ancient volcanic eruptions and the flow of water billions of years ago, hold the clues to its past. And perhaps, beneath its surface or within its frozen soils, Mars may still harbor life, life that evolved independently of Earth. Even the discovery of simple microbial life would be a revelation of staggering proportions, challenging our understanding of biology and forcing us to confront the possibility that life may be a common feature of the universe. If we find life on Mars, our ethical responsibilities become even more profound. How should we interact with that life? Do we have the right to study it, to experiment on it, or to alter its environment for our own purposes? Or should we take a more cautious approach, ensuring that we do not disturb its ecosystems, no matter how small or primitive they may be? These questions are not simply matters of scientific inquiry, they are questions of ethics, morality, and humanity's role as stewards of life, both on Earth and beyond. But even if Mars proves to be devoid of life, the ethical considerations surrounding its colonization remain. The transformation of Mars into a habitable world, through terraforming or other means, would be one of the most ambitious and transformative projects humanity has ever undertaken. Yet, it also represents a profound act of intervention in the natural processes of another planet. Terraforming would involve altering Mars's atmosphere, warming its surface, and possibly introducing Earth-based life forms. While this might one day allow humans to live on Mars without the need for protective habitats, it raises difficult questions. Do we have the right to reshape an entire planet to suit our needs? And what would we lose in the process? Mars, as it exists today, is a geological wonder, its landscapes shaped by forces that have unfolded over billions of years. By transforming Mars into a more Earth-like world, we risk erasing its natural history and losing the opportunity to study an alien world in its unaltered state. We must ask ourselves whether the benefits of terraforming outweigh the potential costs, not just for humanity, but for Mars itself. The decision to reshape a planet is not one to be taken lightly, and it will require careful consideration of the long-term consequences for both Mars and the wider solar system. Beyond Mars, the ethical dilemmas of space exploration extend to the outer solar system, where moons like Europa, Enceladus, and Titan offer the tantalizing possibility of harboring life. Europa, with its vast ocean beneath a thick layer of ice, is one of the most promising candidates for extraterrestrial life. If we were to discover life on Europa, it would force us to reconsider many of our assumptions about the uniqueness of life on Earth. But how would we interact with that life? Would we approach it as scientists, eager to study and understand it? Or would we take a more protective stance, recognizing that Europa's ecosystems, no matter how alien, deserve to be preserved? The discovery of extraterrestrial life, whether microbial or intelligent, would raise profound ethical questions. What rights do other forms of life have, and what responsibilities do we, as explorers, have to protect and preserve those life forms? The history of exploration on Earth has often been marked by the exploitation of natural resources and the destruction of ecosystems. As we venture into space, we must ensure that we do not repeat these mistakes on other worlds. This sense of stewardship, of caring for and protecting the environments we encounter, must guide our actions as we explore the cosmos. We are not just visitors to these worlds, we are participants in a larger cosmic story. The decisions we make today will shape the future of space exploration and the future of life, both on Earth and beyond. As we explore new worlds, we must do so with a sense of humility, recognizing that the universe is vast, complex, and full of mysteries that we may never fully understand. The ethical challenges of space exploration are not limited to the discovery of life or the colonization of other planets. They also extend to the way we use space resources. The idea of mining asteroids, moons, and planets for valuable minerals and metals has the potential to revolutionize industries on Earth and provide the raw materials needed for large-scale space colonization. However, space mining also raises important questions about sustainability, equity, and environmental impact. How can we ensure that space resources are used responsibly, without causing harm to the environments we extract them from? And how will the benefits of space resources be distributed? Will they be concentrated in the hands of a few corporations or nations, or will they be shared for the benefit of all humanity? These questions highlight the need for a new framework for the governance of space exploration. The Outer Space Treaty, signed in 1967, established the principle that space is the province of all mankind, and that no nation can claim sovereignty over celestial bodies. However, as space exploration becomes increasingly commercialized, and as new nations and private companies enter the space race, we must develop new guidelines that promote sustainability, cooperation, and the responsible use of resources. At the heart of these discussions is the question of what kind of civilization we want to become. Will we be a species that seeks domination and control, exploiting the universe for our own short-term gain? Or will we be a species that values exploration, cooperation, and stewardship, recognizing our place within the larger web of life and acting as responsible caretakers of the cosmos? This question is not just philosophical, it is practical and urgent. The decisions we make today, about how we interact with other worlds, how we treat the life we may discover, and how we use the resources of space, will define the trajectory of human civilization for generations to come. We stand at a crossroads, and the choices we make will shape the future not only of humanity but of the universe itself. But beyond the practical and ethical challenges of space exploration, there is also a deeper, more existential dimension to our journey into the cosmos. The search for extraterrestrial life, particularly intelligent life, forces us to confront fundamental questions about consciousness, intelligence, and the nature of life itself. If we were to find evidence of intelligent extraterrestrial civilizations, it would transform our understanding of what it means to be alive and conscious in the universe. But even if we do not find such civilizations, the act of searching for them is meaningful in itself. It reminds us that we are part of something much larger than ourselves, that we are part of a universe that is far older, far vaster, and far more complex than we can fully comprehend. This sense of cosmic perspective can inspire a sense of wonder, awe, and responsibility. It reminds us that our actions, both on Earth and in space, have consequences that extend far beyond our individual lives, far beyond our species, and far beyond our planet. As we continue to explore the stars, we must carry this sense of responsibility with us. The stars will always be there, waiting for us. But as we reach for them, let us do so with open hearts, open minds, and a deep respect for the universe and its mysteries. For somewhere, something incredible is waiting to be known, and we, with our boundless curiosity and capacity for wonder, are the ones who will discover it. Mars, as our next frontier, challenges us to think not just about how we will live on another planet, but about how we will live together as a species across multiple worlds. The technical hurdles of reaching and sustaining life on Mars are immense, but equally daunting are the philosophical and ethical questions that arise as we prepare to colonize another planet. Mars, for all its stark beauty, is a world unto itself. It has existed for billions of years, evolving in ways that are fundamentally different from Earth. As we set foot on this new world, we must ask ourselves, how do we build a future on Mars without repeating the mistakes of our past on Earth? Colonization, historically, has been a process fraught with exploitation, environmental degradation, and the displacement of indigenous cultures. While Mars may not have a human population, it is nonetheless a place with its own history and potential ecosystems. Even if Mars is devoid of life, the act of transforming its environment to make it more Earth-like, through terraforming or other means, raises critical ethical questions. What rights do we have to reshape another planet's atmosphere, surface, and ecosystems for our own benefit? Can we justify such an intervention, knowing that it would permanently alter the character of Mars, and possibly obscure the planet's natural history forever? Terraforming, while a compelling vision of the future, would involve massive interventions in Mars's climate and geology, actions that would transform its delicate equilibrium into something entirely new. While these efforts might allow humans to live on Mars without the need for protective suits or habitats, they would also erase what is uniquely Martian. The planet's ancient river valleys, its towering volcanoes, and its vast polar ice caps would all be subjected to change, as we mold Mars into something that suits our needs. This leads us to a fundamental question: should we treat Mars as a canvas for human expansion, or as a world with intrinsic value that deserves our respect? The possibility of life on Mars only deepens this dilemma. Even the discovery of microbial life would force us to reconsider our approach to colonization. If life exists on Mars, even in its simplest form, it is evidence that the universe is capable of producing life in more than one location. Such a discovery would revolutionize our understanding of biology, evolution, and the origins of life itself. But it would also raise the stakes of our ethical responsibilities. Could we justify terraforming Mars, knowing that it might destroy the habitats of these organisms? Would we be willing to prioritize human expansion over the preservation of an entirely new form of life? These questions are not limited to Mars. As we look further into the solar system, we encounter other worlds that present similar ethical challenges. Europa, with its hidden ocean beneath a thick layer of ice, is one of the most intriguing candidates for extraterrestrial life. If we were to find life in Europa's ocean, perhaps microbial organisms or even more complex life forms, how would we approach these ecosystems? Do we have the right to study them, or should we focus on preserving them in their natural state, free from human interference? The discovery of life beyond Earth would be a transformative moment for humanity. It would challenge our assumptions about life's uniqueness and force us to reconsider our place in the universe. But it would also demand that we confront difficult ethical questions. If we find life on other planets or moons, what responsibilities do we have to protect it? Would these organisms have rights, just as life on Earth does? And how would we balance our desire to explore and understand these alien ecosystems with our responsibility to preserve them? The ethical implications of space exploration extend beyond the discovery of life. As we move toward the commercial exploitation of space resources, we must also consider the impact of mining asteroids, moons, and planets for valuable minerals and metals. Space mining holds the potential to revolutionize industries on Earth and provide the materials needed for large-scale space colonization. But it also raises important questions about sustainability, equity, and environmental impact. Should space be treated as a new frontier for resource extraction, or should we approach it with caution, recognizing that the environments of asteroids, moons, and planets are part of the natural heritage of the solar system? And who will have access to these resources? Will the benefits of space mining be shared equitably, or will they be concentrated in the hands of a few corporations or nations? These are not just questions of economics, they are questions of justice, fairness, and the kind of civilization we want to build as we expand into space. The governance of space exploration and resource extraction is still in its early stages. The Outer Space Treaty of 1967 established that space is the province of all mankind, and that no nation can claim sovereignty over celestial bodies. However, as private companies and new spacefaring nations enter the race to explore and exploit space, we will need to develop new international frameworks that promote cooperation, sustainability, and the equitable use of space resources. Without careful regulation, space could become a new battleground for geopolitical competition, with potentially devastating consequences for the fragile environments we are just beginning to explore. As we grapple with these ethical and practical challenges, we are also forced to confront deeper, more existential questions about the nature of life and consciousness. The search for extraterrestrial life, whether microbial or intelligent, is not just a scientific endeavor, it is a search for connection. It is a recognition that we are part of a much larger universe, one that may be teeming with life forms we have yet to encounter. If we find intelligent extraterrestrial civilizations, it would be one of the most profound moments in human history. It would force us to rethink our understanding of consciousness, intelligence, and the nature of existence. But what if we do not find life beyond Earth? What if, in all the vastness of the cosmos, we are the only conscious beings capable of contemplating the universe? This possibility, too, carries profound implications. If we are truly alone, then the survival of life and consciousness rests entirely on our shoulders. It is our responsibility to ensure that life continues to flourish, both on Earth and beyond. The choices we make today, about how we treat our planet, how we explore the stars, and how we interact with other forms of life, will determine whether life and consciousness continue to thrive, or whether they are extinguished in the cosmic void. This sense of responsibility, this awareness that we are the stewards of life and consciousness, should guide our actions as we explore the universe. The stars, distant and mysterious, will always be there, waiting for us to reach them. But as we journey toward them, let us do so with humility, with curiosity, and with a deep respect for the cosmos and its many wonders. For somewhere, something incredible is waiting to be known, and we, with our boundless curiosity and capacity for wonder, are the ones who will discover it. In conclusion, the journey into the cosmos is not merely one of technological achievement or scientific discovery, it is a journey that forces us to confront the deepest questions of existence, responsibility, and ethics. As we stand on the cusp of becoming an interplanetary species, we must recognize that our actions will shape not only the future of humanity but also the future of life, consciousness, and the very worlds we explore. We stand on the threshold of a new era, an era when humanity is preparing to step beyond its home planet. Our technologies have advanced to the point where Mars, the moons of Jupiter and Saturn, and perhaps other distant stars, are becoming reachable. But this opportunity demands from us not only knowledge and courage, but also an awareness of the profound responsibility that accompanies such steps. We are not just explorers eager to uncover what distant planets hold. We are carriers of life and consciousness, capable of altering the fate of these worlds. Will our interference be constructive, like the force of life, or destructive, like the forces that erode ecosystems? The answer depends on us. We must ask ourselves important questions. Do we have the right to alter a planet like Mars for the sake of our survival? What will we lose if we forever change its landscapes and atmosphere? And what if life, even in its simplest form, is discovered on Mars, Europa, or Enceladus? The responsibility for space is not only a matter of technology and science. It is a matter of morality, ethics, and our shared future. We find ourselves at a unique moment in time, when our actions can permanently alter not only our planet but the universe we are beginning to explore. We must remember that even if we do not find life elsewhere, life here on Earth is a rare and precious phenomenon that must be protected. Let us explore the stars with open hearts and minds, with deep respect for the mysteries that still await discovery. For somewhere out there, among the countless stars and planets, something incredible is waiting to be known. And we are the ones who must discover it, fully aware of the responsibility we bear before the universe that has granted us this chance. The universe is a pretty big place. If it's just us, seems like an awful waste of space. Carl Sagan. We are creatures made of stardust, gazing up at the stars. Our world is but a tiny island in the vast cosmos, surrounded by an endless ocean of time and space. For millennia, humanity has looked upon the night sky with awe, trying to unlock its mysteries. Every beam of light that pierces the darkness carries the story of millions of years, and we, like tiny sparks in this immense void, yearn to understand where we come from and where we are headed. Our planet is merely a speck in the boundless cosmic expanse, yet it is here, on this fragile blue dot, that life emerged. Life that, over billions of years of evolution, began to ask profound questions about its nature and its place in the grand universe. We, the children of the stars, who have given birth to science and philosophy, seek answers to the very questions posed by the stars themselves. What is the universe? How did it come into being? And what role does humanity play in this vast cosmic drama? Somewhere, something incredible is waiting to be known. The universe is an immense and enigmatic cosmos that has captivated humanity for millennia with its boundlessness and grandeur. The ancient peoples, gazing up at the starry skies with reverence and wonder, laid the foundation for an endless quest to understand what lies beyond our world. They observed the movement of celestial bodies, sought to comprehend their cycles and patterns, built astronomical observatories, and created myths to explain the origin of the universe and our place within it. Each generation contributed to this ceaseless pursuit, passing down accumulated knowledge and a profound sense of awe at the majesty of the cosmos. Over time, our tools for understanding the universe became more sophisticated. Technological advancements have allowed humanity to peer into the farthest reaches of the cosmos, witness the light from distant galaxies, and observe the birth of star systems. Telescopes, satellites, and space probes have revealed the mysteries hidden within these vast expanses. Yet as we discover more, new questions arise, questions even more complex and profound. What is the universe? How did it come into existence? What role does humanity play in it? Despite all our achievements, these questions remain as relevant today as ever. Modern cosmology not only unveils the mysteries of the universe's origin and evolution but also helps us understand the nature of time, space, and the forces that govern galaxies, stars, and planets. At the core of these studies lie the fundamental laws of physics, laws that explain how the singularity we call the Big Bang gave birth to the universe approximately 13.8 billion years ago. This moment, filled with energy and matter, marked the beginning of everything we know, time, space, and all that fills the cosmos. From chaos emerged structure, stars and galaxies formed, and within them, planets, one of which became our home. Despite our insignificance on the cosmic scale, humanity has always strived to understand its place in this vast expanse. We are but specks in infinity, yet within our minds and hearts burns a desire for knowledge. How did life arise on Earth? Are we alone in the universe? What future awaits humanity? These questions present not only scientific but philosophical challenges, prompting us to contemplate the meaning of existence and humanity's role on the cosmic scale. Each answer we uncover leads to new mysteries. We see stars that extinguished millions of years ago, observe galaxies we will never approach, and realize that our lives are fleeting moments in the infinite chain of cosmic events. In this journey, we not only seek answers but also experience the beauty and grandeur of the universe. We realize our connection to it and find inspiration in its boundlessness. The cosmos is not just a void between stars, it is an ocean of time and matter, where every atom of our bodies was born in the hearts of distant stars. Understanding this connection opens new horizons, driving us to further exploration, new discoveries, and perhaps a re-evaluation of our place in this grand cosmic order. We embark on this journey not to conquer the stars, but to understand them, and in doing so, to understand ourselves. The universe is vast and awe-inspiring, and we, fragile creatures on a pale blue dot, are bound to it in ways far deeper than we can ever fully grasp. The universe we inhabit is a grand, awe-inspiring object of study. Home to billions of galaxies, each containing billions of stars and an incalculable number of planets, comets, and asteroids. Everything we see and everything that exists is governed by the same physical laws that describe the behavior of matter and energy. But how did this vast and complex structure come into being? The question of the universe's origin is one of the most profound mysteries of modern science. According to the prevailing theory, our universe emerged from a state of extremely high density and temperature around 13.8 billion years ago in an event we refer to as the Big Bang. This moment was not merely an explosion in the conventional sense, but the beginning of space and time itself. All matter and energy were concentrated in a singularity, a state so extreme that our familiar laws of physics could not yet apply. In the first moments after the Big Bang, the universe expanded at an incomprehensible rate, a process known as cosmic inflation. This rapid expansion smoothed out any initial irregularities, setting the stage for the formation of galaxies, stars, and planets. As the universe continued to expand and cool, quarks combined to form protons and neutrons, which in turn led to the creation of atomic nuclei. These early particles, primarily hydrogen and helium, became the building blocks of everything that followed. As the universe evolved, gravity took hold, pulling matter together into the first stars and galaxies. It is within these stars that the elements necessary for life were forged in the intense heat of nuclear fusion. The iron in our blood, the calcium in our bones, the carbon in our cells, all of it was formed in the heart of a star. When these stars died, often in magnificent explosions known as supernovae, they scattered these elements across space, seeding the next generation of stars and planets with the ingredients for life. In this cosmic story, our planet Earth is but one chapter. A small, rocky world orbiting an average star, located in the outer reaches of a spiral galaxy we call the Milky Way. Yet, despite our seeming insignificance, Earth is home to something extraordinary: life. Life that, over billions of years, evolved from simple microorganisms into beings capable of pondering the very universe that gave them birth. We are star-stuffed contemplating the stars. In a cosmos that stretches for billions of light-years in all directions, we are the means by which the universe can understand itself. And while we are still in the early stages of this journey of understanding, each discovery brings us one step closer to grasping the grand tapestry of existence. But the more we learn, the more we realize how much remains unknown. The dark matter that fills much of the universe is invisible to our eyes, detectable only through its gravitational effects. The dark energy that drives the accelerated expansion of the cosmos remains one of the greatest mysteries in science. And as we look out into the night sky, we cannot help but wonder, are we alone? The search for extraterrestrial life is one of the most profound endeavors of modern science. The sheer number of planets in the universe, orbiting stars both near and far, suggests that life may be more common than we once believed. And yet, we have not found it, at least, not yet. We search the heavens for signals, listen for the faint whispers of distant civilizations, and send probes to the farthest reaches of our solar system. Each mission, each experiment, is a small step toward answering the ancient question: are we unique, or is life, in its infinite forms, scattered throughout the stars? And while we seek out other forms of life, we must also reckon with the future of our own. Our planet, our home, faces threats both natural and of our own making. As we look to the stars, we are reminded of our responsibility to preserve the fragile world beneath our feet. Earth is the only known haven for life, a pale blue dot suspended in the vast cosmic ocean. What we do with this world, how we care for it and for each other, will define not only our legacy but the future of life itself. In contemplating the universe, we are also compelled to contemplate ourselves. For in the grand scale of cosmic time and space, our lives are brief, our existence ephemeral. And yet, within this short span, we are granted the remarkable ability to learn, to create, to wonder. It is this capacity for reflection and exploration that sets us apart and links us to the universe in a way that is both humbling and inspiring. The cosmos beckons us to explore, not just for the sake of discovery, but to remind us of our interconnectedness with everything that exists. We are a part of this universe, woven into the fabric of space and time. And as we journey ever deeper into the mysteries of existence, we carry with us the understanding that, while the universe may be vast, it is also within us. In the grand cosmic order, we are both tiny and magnificent. Fragile, yet capable of greatness. And it is this duality that defines the human condition, a condition that, at its core, seeks to understand, to explore, and to connect. The universe is not indifferent to our questions, it is, in fact, the very source of our curiosity. Somewhere, something incredible is waiting to be known, and it is through the collective effort of humanity that we will one day come to know it. As we contemplate the cosmos, we cannot help but wonder about its ultimate fate. The universe, so vast and ancient, has a story that stretches across billions of years, and yet, like all things, it too will face an end. Theories abound regarding how this might happen. Some predict a gradual cooling and fading into darkness, while others suggest a violent tearing apart of the very fabric of space itself. No matter the outcome, the thought of the universe's eventual demise brings with it profound philosophical reflections. In one scenario, known as the Big Freeze, the universe continues its expansion indefinitely. As galaxies drift further and further apart, the stars within them burn through their fuel, eventually flickering out. Over billions of years, the universe would grow colder, darker, and emptier. No new stars would form, and what remains of matter, once so vibrant and dynamic, would decay into a thin, cold mist of particles. This silent, darkened universe, devoid of energy and life, would drift through eternity. Another possibility is the Big Rip. This theory suggests that the mysterious force driving the universe's accelerated expansion, dark energy, could grow stronger over time. If this happens, not only will galaxies be torn apart, but even stars, planets, and eventually atoms themselves could be ripped asunder by the relentless force. In the end, all matter would be torn to shreds, leaving nothing but an empty void. And then, there is the Big Crunch, a cosmic collapse in which the universe, after expanding for billions of years, reverses course. Gravity, the great force that holds galaxies, stars, and planets together, could one day overcome the expansion, pulling everything back toward a singular point. All matter and energy would be compressed into an unimaginable state, not unlike the beginning of the universe itself. Perhaps, from this collapse, a new universe would emerge, a cycle of birth, death, and rebirth that has no end. Whichever future the universe holds, it forces us to confront not just the ultimate fate of the cosmos, but our place within it. For all the energy and matter that make up stars, galaxies, and planets, the one constant in the universe is change. Just as stars are born, live, and die, so too does the universe evolve on a grand scale. We are witnesses to a small chapter in its story, a brief moment of light and life amid the vastness of space. Yet, there is beauty in this transience. Knowing that the universe is in constant flux, that everything changes, brings a certain poignancy to our understanding of existence. The atoms in our bodies were once part of ancient stars. The molecules that form the air we breathe and the water we drink have traveled through countless cycles of life and death. We are part of this cosmic dance, shaped by forces beyond our comprehension, yet capable of reflecting on them with awe. As we look to the future, we also turn our gaze inward. The survival of our species and our planet depends on how we choose to live today. The Earth, our pale blue dot, is the only home we have ever known. It is a fragile oasis in a cosmos filled with unimaginable forces, forces that could extinguish us in an instant if we are not careful. Our ability to explore the stars, to build civilizations, and to seek knowledge is a testament to the resilience of life. Yet, it is also a reminder of our responsibility to care for the world we inhabit. The drive to explore the universe is one of humanity's most noble pursuits. It stems from our desire to understand the unknown, to push the boundaries of knowledge, and to connect with something larger than ourselves. But as we venture into space, we must also remember that the Earth is a rare and precious place. The cosmos is vast and indifferent, but here, on this small world, life has found a foothold. It is up to us to protect it, not just for ourselves, but for the generations yet to come. And what of the possibility that we are not alone in this great expanse? If the universe is filled with billions of galaxies, each containing billions of stars, it seems almost inevitable that somewhere, out there, life has taken hold on another world. Perhaps these beings look up at their sky, wondering about the stars, just as we do. Perhaps they, too, have asked the same questions about their origins, their place in the cosmos, and the fate of their world. The search for extraterrestrial life is, at its core, a search for connection. It is the hope that, in a universe so vast and mysterious, we are not isolated. That somewhere, across the light years, there are others who share our curiosity, our fears, and our dreams. And should we one day find them, or should they find us, it would be a moment of profound significance, forever altering our understanding of what it means to be human. But even if we never make contact with another civilization, the search itself is valuable. It reminds us of the common thread that runs through all of life. It teaches us that we are part of something far greater than ourselves, and that our existence, fleeting though it may be, is deeply connected to the universe from which we arose. As we continue to explore the cosmos, we must do so with humility, with wonder, and with a sense of purpose. The universe has been unfolding for billions of years before us, and it will continue for billions of years after we are gone. But during our brief time in the cosmic spotlight, we have the extraordinary privilege of learning about this vast, beautiful, and mysterious world around us. We are, after all, the universe's way of knowing itself. As we venture deeper into our understanding of the cosmos, we are continually confronted by questions that stretch the limits of our imagination. Among the most tantalizing is the question of life beyond Earth. Are we truly alone in this vast universe? Or is the emergence of life a common outcome when the right ingredients come together? The search for extraterrestrial life has taken many forms, from listening for radio signals across the void to sending robotic probes to distant moons and planets. Each new discovery, from the evidence of water on Mars to the icy oceans beneath the surface of Jupiter's moon Europa, has provided us with tantalizing hints that life, in some form, may exist beyond our world. These discoveries remind us that the conditions for life, water, energy, and organic molecules, are not unique to Earth. They may be more widespread than we once believed. Yet, the silence from the cosmos is deafening. Despite our efforts to listen for signals or detect the presence of life, we have found no conclusive evidence that we share this universe with other intelligent beings. This has led to one of the most profound and unsettling paradoxes in science, often called the Fermi paradox. If the universe is so vast and ancient, and if life is so prevalent, then where is everyone? Why haven't we encountered any signs of other civilizations? There are many possible answers to this paradox, each more thought-provoking than the last. It could be that intelligent life is exceedingly rare, and that the circumstances that allowed life to flourish on Earth are extraordinarily unique. Or perhaps civilizations, once they develop advanced technologies, inevitably destroy themselves before they can reach the stars, a sobering possibility that serves as a warning to us about the fragility of our own existence. Another possibility is that advanced civilizations are out there, but they are deliberately avoiding us. Perhaps they are observing us from afar, waiting for humanity to mature before making contact. Or maybe their methods of communication are so advanced that we simply lack the ability to detect them. It's even possible that life exists in forms so different from what we understand that we wouldn't recognize it even if it were right in front of us. But regardless of the answer, the search for extraterrestrial life forces us to look inward as much as outward. It challenges us to consider what it means to be intelligent, to be conscious, and to be aware of our place in the universe. If we do find other forms of life, it will forever change our understanding of ourselves. If we don't, it will reinforce the preciousness of life here on Earth, a singular beacon of consciousness in the dark expanse of space. Even as we look for signs of life beyond our planet, we must grapple with the future of life on Earth. Our technological advancements have given us incredible power, but with that power comes responsibility. We have become the stewards of our planet, capable of shaping its future, for better or worse. The choices we make today, regarding the environment, technology, and society, will determine whether future generations inherit a thriving world or a planet in peril. The climate crisis, the loss of biodiversity, and the depletion of natural resources remind us that Earth's ecosystems are fragile. Our actions have far-reaching consequences, and we must act with wisdom and foresight if we are to preserve the delicate balance of life. The challenges we face may seem daunting, but they also present an opportunity. Just as the exploration of space has inspired generations to push the boundaries of science and technology, so too can the need to protect our planet inspire innovation and cooperation. In our efforts to explore the stars, we must remember that Earth is our home. It is the only planet we know of that harbors life, and it is a world of extraordinary beauty and complexity. The image of Earth from space, the pale blue dot, reminds us of our shared humanity, our interconnectedness, and the fragility of life in the cosmos. It is a reminder that, while we may one day travel to other worlds, this planet, with all its wonders, is irreplaceable. As we stand on the brink of a new era of space exploration, we must also reflect on the ethical implications of venturing beyond our planet. What will it mean to colonize other worlds? How will we interact with potential life forms we may encounter? And what responsibilities do we have to preserve the natural environments of the planets we explore? The colonization of Mars, long a dream of scientists and explorers, may soon become a reality. But Mars is not Earth. Its harsh environment, thin atmosphere, and lack of liquid water make it a challenging place for life as we know it. If we succeed in creating habitable colonies on Mars, it will be a testament to human ingenuity and perseverance. Yet, we must be mindful of the ethical questions such a venture raises. Should we terraform other planets to make them more Earth-like, or should we leave them in their natural state? What rights do we have to alter worlds that may harbor their own unique ecosystems? And if we do find life, even microbial life, on another planet, how will that discovery change the way we think about life on Earth? The realization that life is not unique to our planet would have profound implications for science, philosophy, and religion. It would challenge us to rethink our place in the universe and our relationship with the natural world. Even if we never find life elsewhere, the very act of exploring the cosmos enriches our understanding of what it means to be human. It reminds us that we are part of a larger story, one that stretches back billions of years and will continue long after we are gone. The stars we see in the night sky are ancient, their light having traveled across vast distances to reach us. Some of those stars may have already died, their light a lingering echo of a past we can only imagine. In this vast and mysterious universe, we are both small and significant. Our lives may be brief, but our ability to reflect, to ask questions, and to seek knowledge gives us a unique place in the cosmic order. We are, in a very real sense, the universe becoming aware of itself. And it is this awareness, this capacity for wonder and inquiry, that defines us as a species. The future of humanity, whether on Earth or among the stars, depends on how we choose to live today. The challenges we face, both on our planet and in our exploration of the cosmos, are immense. But so, too, are the opportunities. If we approach these challenges with curiosity, compassion, and a sense of responsibility, we can shape a future that is not only sustainable but filled with wonder. In the end, the universe will continue its grand dance of creation and destruction, with or without us. But for the brief moment we are here, we have the extraordinary privilege of understanding a small part of it. Let us use this time wisely, to explore, to learn, and to connect, with each other and with the cosmos itself. As we stand on the cusp of this new cosmic age, it's important to reflect on the nature of exploration itself. Throughout history, humanity has been driven by an innate curiosity, a desire to see what lies beyond the horizon. From the first humans who ventured across oceans to the astronauts who set foot on the moon, each journey has expanded not only our physical boundaries but also the boundaries of our understanding. The exploration of space represents the next great leap in this age-old endeavor. With each new mission, we push further into the unknown, expanding the reach of human knowledge. But space is not merely a new frontier to be conquered. It is a mirror that reflects back on us, revealing who we are and what we value. When we gaze at the stars, we are reminded of the vastness of the universe and our small place within it. But we are also reminded of our incredible potential. We are the first species, as far as we know, to develop the capability to leave its home planet and explore worlds beyond. This is no small achievement, it is a profound testament to the power of human ingenuity and cooperation. It reminds us that, when we work together, we can accomplish the seemingly impossible. Yet, as we embark on this journey, we must also recognize the limitations of our knowledge and the humility that comes with it. The universe is far older, far more complex, and far stranger than we can currently comprehend. The laws of physics, the nature of time and space, the very fabric of reality itself, these are mysteries that still elude us. And yet, it is precisely this mystery that drives us forward. Consider the phenomenon of black holes, regions of space where gravity is so strong that not even light can escape. These enigmatic objects, first predicted by Einstein's theory of general relativity, challenge our understanding of the universe. They represent a breakdown of our physical laws, a place where time and space warp in ways that defy our intuition. And yet, through the study of black holes, we gain new insights into the fundamental nature of reality. In recent years, we have even managed to capture the first image of a black hole, a feat that would have seemed impossible just decades ago. This achievement, the result of a global collaboration of scientists and engineers, reminds us that no challenge is too great when we come together in the pursuit of knowledge. It also reminds us that our universe, though vast and mysterious, is not beyond our reach. And what of the even more perplexing mysteries that await us? Dark matter and dark energy, two of the most elusive and least understood components of the universe, make up the vast majority of its mass and energy. Yet we can neither see nor directly detect them. These invisible forces shape the universe in profound ways, influencing the formation of galaxies, the motion of stars, and the expansion of space itself. Our inability to fully comprehend dark matter and dark energy is a humbling reminder of how much we have yet to learn. But it is also an invitation to continue exploring, questioning, and seeking answers. For every mystery we solve, new questions arise. And this, perhaps, is one of the most beautiful aspects of science. It is an endless journey. There will always be more to learn, more to discover, more to understand. The universe is a grand puzzle, and we are only just beginning to put the pieces together. As we unravel the mysteries of the cosmos, we are also reminded of our connection to it. The atoms that make up our bodies were forged in the hearts of stars. The energy that powers our thoughts and movements was once part of the great explosions that gave birth to galaxies. In a very real sense, we are the universe, and the universe is us. This realization brings with it a sense of profound responsibility. We are not separate from the cosmos, we are part of it. And as we continue to explore the stars, we must do so with an awareness of the impact we have on the world around us. Just as we must protect our planet from the ravages of climate change and environmental degradation, so too must we approach space exploration with care and respect. The planets and moons we visit, the asteroids we mine, the environments we alter, these are not merely resources to be exploited. They are part of a delicate and interconnected system that we must strive to understand before we alter it. The future of space exploration is filled with exciting possibilities. The prospect of humans setting foot on Mars, establishing colonies on distant moons, and even venturing beyond our solar system is no longer the stuff of science fiction. It is within our reach. But with these possibilities come new challenges that are not just technical or logistical, but ethical and philosophical as well. How will we govern space? Who will decide how resources are shared? What rights do we have to alter other worlds, and what responsibilities do we have to protect them? These are questions that humanity must grapple with as we move forward into this new era of exploration. In many ways, the challenges we face in space are reflections of the challenges we face here on Earth. Just as we must learn to live sustainably on our own planet, so too must we learn to live sustainably in the cosmos. The lessons we learn from space exploration, about cooperation, stewardship, and the interconnectedness of all life, can and must be applied to our efforts to build a better world here at home. And what of the future of humanity itself? As we continue to explore the cosmos, will we remain the same species that first gazed up at the stars, or will we evolve into something new? The development of artificial intelligence, biotechnology, and other advanced technologies raises profound questions about the nature of life and consciousness. Will we one day merge with machines, extending our lifespans and enhancing our abilities? Will we create new forms of life, capable of surviving in environments that are inhospitable to humans? These possibilities, once the realm of speculative fiction, are becoming more real with each passing year. And as we push the boundaries of what it means to be human, we must also consider the ethical implications of these advancements. What does it mean to be alive? What does it mean to be conscious? And how do we ensure that the technologies we develop are used for the benefit of all humanity, rather than the few? As we contemplate these questions, we are reminded once again of the importance of perspective. The universe, in all its vastness, offers us a unique vantage point from which to reflect on our place within it. The challenges we face, both on Earth and in space, are immense. But so too are the opportunities. We are the inheritors of a rich legacy, passed down to us by countless generations of explorers, thinkers, and dreamers. It is now our turn to carry that legacy forward, to continue the journey that began when our ancestors first looked up at the night sky and wondered. The universe beckons us. Not just to explore its distant corners, but to understand its deepest truths, and in doing so, to understand ourselves. As we press forward in our exploration of the universe, we must also consider one of the most profound questions of all, the nature of consciousness itself. What does it mean to be aware, to think, to feel, to wonder about the universe in which we live? Consciousness is one of the deepest mysteries in science, and understanding its origins and nature could be key to understanding not only ourselves but the very fabric of reality. In a universe that is vast, cold, and indifferent, consciousness appears as a flickering light in the darkness, a phenomenon that seems almost miraculous. How did it arise? How does the matter of the brain give rise to thoughts, emotions, and self-awareness? These questions are as fundamental as those about the origin of the universe itself. Consciousness allows us to ponder the cosmos, to seek meaning, and to reflect on our place in the grand scheme of things. For centuries, philosophers and scientists have grappled with the question of consciousness, but it remains one of the most elusive phenomena we face. Some argue that consciousness is an emergent property of complex systems, a natural outcome of the brain's intricate workings. Others suggest that consciousness is more fundamental, woven into the very structure of the universe itself, a cosmic phenomenon that extends beyond the bounds of biology. And as we consider the possibility of life beyond Earth, we must also ask, what forms might consciousness take in other worlds? Could there be minds far different from our own, shaped by environments and conditions alien to anything we know? What if consciousness itself exists in forms that we cannot yet conceive, bound not to biology as we understand it but to other kinds of matter or energy? These questions remind us that, while we are bound by the limits of our experience, the universe may hold surprises far beyond our current understanding. The search for extraterrestrial life is not merely about finding biological organisms, it is about seeking out new forms of intelligence, new ways of being. The discovery of a single extraterrestrial civilization, no matter how different from us, would fundamentally reshape our understanding of consciousness and life. It would force us to confront the reality that intelligence is not confined to Earth, and that we may share the universe with other thinking beings, perhaps far more advanced than we are. But what if we are alone? What if consciousness, as we know it, is a rare and fleeting phenomenon in the universe? In that case, the responsibility we bear is even greater. We are the stewards of this extraordinary gift, the only beings we know of who can reflect on existence, marvel at the stars, and seek to understand the universe. If we are the only conscious observers, it falls upon us to ensure that this awareness, this flame of thought, continues to burn brightly in the cosmos. This leads to a profound realization: the future of consciousness may depend on the choices we make today. Our ability to explore space, develop new technologies, and solve the challenges we face on Earth will determine whether humanity continues to thrive or fades into obscurity. The preservation of consciousness, whether it is human or some other form we may create, becomes not just a scientific or philosophical challenge, but a moral imperative. Our growing understanding of artificial intelligence raises similar questions. As we develop machines capable of performing tasks that once required human intelligence, we are forced to ask, what happens when these machines surpass our own cognitive abilities? Could we one day create artificial beings that are conscious, capable of independent thought and feeling? And if we do, what rights and responsibilities will we have toward them? The creation of artificial consciousness would be one of the most significant milestones in the history of the universe, a moment when life, for the first time, consciously creates something akin to itself. It would blur the line between the natural and the artificial, between the human and the machine. But it also raises profound ethical questions. If these beings are conscious, how should we treat them? Will they become our partners in the exploration of the cosmos, or will they outgrow us, pursuing their own destinies? These possibilities are both thrilling and unsettling. They force us to reconsider what it means to be alive, to be intelligent, to be aware. The future of consciousness, whether biological or artificial, could take forms that are beyond anything we can currently imagine. And as we look to the stars, we must also look inward, seeking to understand the very nature of thought and existence. But in the end, the universe, in all its vastness and mystery, is more than just a stage for consciousness. It is a living, evolving entity in which we are deeply intertwined. The atoms that form our bodies were forged in the furnaces of distant stars. The energy that powers our thoughts was once part of the cosmic explosions that gave birth to galaxies. And as we journey through life, we are part of the same cosmic dance that has been unfolding for billions of years. This realization brings with it a sense of awe and wonder, but also a deep humility. For as much as we have learned, there is so much more that we do not know. The universe is filled with mysteries, black holes, dark matter, dark energy, the nature of time and space, that continue to challenge our understanding. Each new discovery opens up more questions, more puzzles to be solved. But this is the beauty of science, it is an unending quest, a journey that never truly reaches a final destination. And perhaps this is as it should be. For if we were ever to fully understand the universe, to grasp its every nuance and secret, we would lose something precious, the sense of wonder that drives us to explore, to ask questions, to push the boundaries of knowledge. The mystery is what makes the universe so beautiful, so captivating. It is the unknown that calls to us, urging us to look beyond the horizon and discover what lies beyond. As we move into the future, our greatest task will not be to conquer the universe, but to understand our place within it. We must learn to live in harmony with the cosmos, respecting the delicate balance of forces that have shaped the stars, the planets, and life itself. We must approach the universe not as masters, but as students, humble, curious, and aware of the vastness of what we do not yet know. The universe has been unfolding for billions of years, and it will continue to do so for billions more. Our time here is brief, but it is also extraordinary. We are the universe's way of knowing itself, the only conscious beings, that we know of, capable of reflecting on the cosmic story that we are a part of. This is both a privilege and a responsibility. We must use our time wisely, to learn, to explore, to preserve what is precious, and to carry the flame of consciousness forward into the future. Whether we are alone or one of many civilizations scattered across the stars, our journey is far from over. The universe, in all its grandeur, awaits us. Somewhere, something incredible is waiting to be known. And we, the fragile and brilliant creatures of Earth, are the ones who will find it. As we contemplate the future of human consciousness and our role in the vast universe, we must also consider the fate of our civilization. Like the stars above, civilizations are born, they grow, and eventually, they face challenges that threaten their survival. The history of humanity is filled with moments of great triumph, where our collective intelligence and creativity have propelled us forward. But it is also marked by periods of darkness, where we have come perilously close to losing everything. What will the future hold for us? Will we, as a species, rise to meet the challenges of our time, or will we falter, consumed by the very forces we have unleashed? The answer to this question lies not in the stars, but within ourselves. For the first time in history, humanity possesses the tools to shape its own destiny. We have the power to explore other worlds, to develop technologies that can solve our most pressing problems, and to connect with each other in ways that were once unimaginable. But with this power comes an immense responsibility. The challenges we face, climate change, inequality, resource depletion, are of our own making. They are the result of our actions, our choices, and our ways of life. And while these problems may seem overwhelming, they also present us with an opportunity.